I'm gearing up to shop my own bookshelves for the 5th annual Read What You Own Challenge. What could be my first 10 books? Hello, welcome to my channel, another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg. Today I am coming to you from a cabin in the Capon State Park of West Virginia. It is a semi-rustic cabin with some modern amenities, some not so modern. But it is a great way to spend a few nights away from the cacophony of regular life. I'm enjoying this trip. But in this video, what will I be doing? MJ at Reading This Life is one of the co-hosts for this 5th annual Read What You Own Challenge. In her announcement video, she sort of egged on the other co-hosts to do a 10 before the end of 2025 for this Read What You Own Challenge. That is essentially to talk about 10 books that you definitely want to read before the end of 2025. And in this video, I will be giving you those 10. I will not be including books that I'm already committed to reading and are parts of other reading groups. That would be the John Irving reading group, where I'll be reading Cider House Rules and Queen Esther. Cider House Rules in November and Queen Esther in December. If you want to join the John Irving reading group, I will leave a link in the description of this video. I will also be participating in Dr. November, the reading event to read spy fiction and spy nonfiction, where I will be reading The Quiet American by Graham Greene as a group read. I will be reading Diamonds Are Forever by Ian Fleming, because I read a James Bond book every Dr. November. I will also be reading The State of Siege by Eric Endler, a thriller set in Malaysia. I forgot to mention nonfiction for Dr. November. That will be the Penkovsky Papers by Oleg Penkovsky. He was a Soviet agent, and he wrote a memoir in 1963, and this memoir is translated from the Russian. The print on my copy is rather small, and we'll have to see how well I get along with it. But now on to the 10 books that I'm going to try to commit myself to read before the end of 2025. First up is Children of Memory by Adrian Tchaikovsky. In the 3rd book of Tchaikovsky's Children of Time series, colonists arrive on a new world haunted by strange echoes of intelligence. Through layers of perception and memory, the novel explores evolution, identity, and communication between species. Tchaikovsky blends hard science fiction with philosophical speculation, questioning what it means to be truly sentient. I think the first book in this trilogy, The Children of Time, may be one of the best science fiction novels of the 21st century written so far. The second book, Children of Ruin, is a very solid science fiction book. So I am eager to pick up this 3rd book in the trilogy. Rumors are that he has written a 4th book that will be published in 2026. I can't wait. In December, Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics and I will be reading The Elements by Michael McDowell, a 1981 horror novel. A dark Southern Gothic horror novel that fuses supernatural terror with family drama. The McCrae family's beachfront home is invaded by elemental forces: earth, air, fire, water, manifesting vengeance from the natural world. McDowell's precise prose and creeping dread make this an under-recognized classic of literary horror. I have read 2 other books by McDowell. One is The Blackwater Saga, technically 6 horror novels, which is an absolutely fascinating look at the South and horror in the South. That's more of a family drama with a water monster. He also wrote a Cold Moon Over Babylon, which is a more traditional horror novel, which teaches you don't kill someone if you can't make sure that person is going to stay dead. So I'm really looking forward to The Elements. The Appointment by Herta Müller, originally published in 1997 in German and translated into English. A young woman living under Romania's dictatorship is summoned for an interrogation after being accused of subversion. As she rides the tram towards her appointment, she reflects on a life marked by fear and surveillance. Müller's fragmented lyrical style captures the psychological toll of totalitarianism with piercing clarity. Müller did win the Nobel Prize in Literature. I have not written, or I said I have not read anything by her before, but I am really looking forward to this because one of my projects for 2026 is to read more books about authoritarianism and what it's like to live under an authoritarian regime. So really looking forward to this. Human Acts by Kang, originally published in Korean in 2014 and translated into English. Kang is also a winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature, and this book will also feature in my books about reading about authoritarianism. And it will be a reread for me. Set during and after the 1980 Gwang uprising in South Korea, this devastating novel follows victims, survivors, and witnesses of a government massacre. Through shifting perspectives, Kang examines memory, violence, and the struggle to reclaim humanity amid trauma. Her spare, haunting prose lingers long after the final page. Women Hate Till Death by Jensen, originally published in the 40s or maybe the 50s. Jensen is the pen name for a very prolific British author, and this British author writes crime thrillers set in the United States. This will be the second book in this series that I have read. In Women Hate Till Death, originally the seventh book in the third series of the classic Jensen novels, Hank's attendance at a promotional event for a revolutionary new car leads him to encounter two cousins, Doris and Marion Langham, whose wartime experiences in a Nazi concentration camp in Poland continue to haunt them. With a subsequent journalistic assignment for the Chicago Chronicle leads Hank to investigate the gruesome shooting of Joe Sparman, who worked for the experimental car's manufacturer. He starts to suspect the harrowing events of the past are having more tangible consequences in the present. An intriguing tale of murder, revenge, and romance. Women Hate Till Death is a near-perfect mix of all the ingredients that make the Jensen novels so engrossing. Now, if you've been paying close attention, the author of this book is listed as Jensen. The main character of this book is Jensen. So it's one of those little sly little tricks that the author is pulling to sort of make you believe it's not really a novel and maybe a piece of nonfiction. It really is a novel. The first novel of this series that I read, I forget the title. I really rather enjoyed. Nightboat to Tangier by Kevin Barry, originally published in 2019. Two aging Irish gangsters wait in a Spanish port for a woman who may never arrive. As they reminisce about love, betrayal, and lost years, their conversation drifts between humor and heartbreak. Barry's lyrical, melancholy prose makes this novel a haunting meditation on crime, aging, and regret. I guess this is sort of considered a mix of mystery and British literary writing. I have never read this author, but I've heard a lot of good things about this book. Zen and the Art of Meditation by Howard Fast, originally published in 1977. Better known for his historical fiction, Fast here offers a brief, reflective guide to the practice and philosophy of meditation. Drawing on Zen principles, he explores the search for stillness with the insight amid modern chaos. The tone is personal, practical, and quietly humane. I have read Howard Fast's novel Spartacus. It's actually a really good novel. I did see the movie Spartacus way back when. I only remember that one scene where everyone rises up and says, "I am Spartacus." But Spartacus is a good novel. And I picked up Zen and the Art of Meditation for my Kindle because one day it was on sale for 99 cents, and I just can't refuse a 99-cent book. I'm also looking for something to ease my stress amid the modern chaos experienced in the United States right now. My country is going down the outhouse, quite literally. So, will I enjoy this book? I hope so. It's only 77 or 80 pages long, so it should be a short, quick read for me. The Killer Inside Me by Jim Thompson, originally published in 1952. This will be a reread for me. And again, it was on sale for Kindle one day for 99 cents. That's why I'm doing this Read What You Own challenge, because I'm always buying these really cheap Kindle books. And in this challenge, I'm going to be trying to read some of them. But let me tell you about The Killer Inside Me. A seminal American noir narrated by Lou Ford, a small-town deputy sheriff concealing his psychopathic urges beneath a mask of politeness. As his double life unravels, Thompson plunges readers into the chilling logic of a murderer. Brutal, claustrophobic, and brilliant, it remains one of noir's most brutal, disturbing classics. I kind of have to agree with that description. The Restaurant at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams, originally published in 1980. Another reread. I picked up the omnibus version of the entire Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series a week or two ago, and I just finished the first book. So now it's on to rereading the other books. In that series, I had only originally read the first 3 and not the last 2. So hopefully during this challenge, I will read the entire series, but the second. In the second Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy novel, Arthur Dent and his companions journey across time and space to a literal restaurant at the end of creation. Adam combines cosmic absurdity with biting satire, lampooning bureaucracy, philosophy, and the human condition with unmatched wit and imagination. I also recommend listening to the Audible book version while you're reading, because there's something about a British narrator reading this British text about British humor that really brings home the wit and style of Douglas Adams. For the final book on this list is the one I may not actually read before the end of 2025, but MJ included this book on her list, and about a week ago it was listed as a buy 3 get 1 free book sale, so I picked it up. And the book is Alchemised by SinLinYu, published in 2025. A lush, character-driven fantasy romance rooted in transformation and forbidden magic. When a brilliant alchemist binds her fate to an ancient spell, love becomes both salvation and a curse. SinLinYu blends emotionality, intensity with mythic world building, crafting a story of sacrifice, ambition, and a dangerous pursuit of perfection. This book is on the hype train on TikTok, maybe not as much on YouTube, and it's also highly problematic. I did see one booktuber reviewing this book, and their reaction to this book was really rather sordid. They did not like it. I guess some of the sexual practices in this book involve, let's just say, the letter R, and then a synonym for a gorilla. And I'm not mentioning that word because apparently that word will upset the YouTube algorithm. So you get the idea. So I'm going to jump on this hyped train and see what this book is like. Again, I may not get to this book because it's 1,000 pages long, and even though I am on the page count version of the Read What You Own challenge, it still will be a stretch to finish it before the end of 2025. If I decide not to attempt Alchemised, I have an alternative waiting in the wings. The first book in the Aristotle detective series. In ancient Athens, the great philosopher applies logic to a lethal crime in the eminently enjoyable first novel in a historical mystery series. Young Stephanos is desperate to save his family's honor by proving in the Athenian court that his exiled cousin is not guilty of shooting an arrow into a prominent patrician. For help, he turned to his old teacher, the cunning and clever thinker known as Aristotle. I have studied a little bit of Aristotle when I was at university, so I'm kind of curious how to turn Aristotle into a detective. So those are my 10 books that I want to finish before 2025. Will I get to them all? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for watching and keep on reading.